the humanoid, the half humanoid robot marathon. What do they call this thing? Just Bleak? Just the Bleak run?
This is like the regular marathon, but they cut off half the course that humans would run on and had these little robots.
So everyone's got to be crammed together like it's a train, a rush hour. You know, no one can enjoy a nice jog in the park because some robot. You got to give wide. You can't. No one can bump into the half midget robot running on a marathon. First of all, why is it even a half marathon? The battery can't even last longer than the half marathon. They couldn't get it the last 26 miles. This is not the biggest flex ever. You would think.
Imagine losing a race to a robot the size of a child. I feel like it's intentionally degrading,
They're rubbing in your face like you're nothing to us. We don't really value humanity in the way that you think, in the sense that you're worth anything. But then again, what do we do here? We have little robot dogs, and that's how we. Is this the arms race we're looking at? Are we looking at a Chinese American arms race of pointless machines making our lives worse? This is the extension of hey, when you go to McDonald's now, instead of talking to someone who's on drugs and just kind of in a catatonic state, who can't really understand your request for a fish fillet, you have to talk to an iPad, which somehow seems worse. I'd rather have the person. At least you can feel superior to the person who doesn't know what day it is, trying to feed you a cardboard sandwich.
On them.
Yeah. I mean, I was always polite, but I mean, yeah, you in your head, I think you're nothing, and because you're nothing. It's the one thing you had was to feel better than the person handing you a sandwich full of styrofoam. That's all we had in America, and they took it away and said, "Talk to this tablet." And the guy, can you at least calibrate the screen? No. And much like that, we have robots who, did they win by what is the story here? This slow and steady, the robots have a long way to go.
I think they finished. I think some of them tipped over.
Human runners averaged 2.5 hours to complete the race. In contrast, the fastest robot needed over 5. So we've made everyone's lives just bleak for nothing. just for kicks. Robots had difficulty adjusting to slight changes in terrain and required remote operator support for stability. So these are like drones. These are they took the drones from Afghanistan and Iraq. Well, I guess this is Chinese. The Chinese did where they have them. Who are they using drones on? Whatever. They took the batteries out of that and they popped into these life-size little My Robots. Robbie the Robots. Remember that guy?
Yeah. What I guess one of those, I guess that's the thing is it doesn't matter if you can adjust to little terrain changes once they put the gun hands on.
Yeah. Once they, well, look, I mean, that's the thing. This is all fun and cute. Oh, look, it's like when you watch Apocalypse Now, right? It's like, oh, that kid looks cute, and then they throw a grenade at you. It's just, you can't win. Are we still competing fairly? That's a fair point. While the robots clearly lag behind humans this time, ethicists raise concerns about what happens when machines surpass us in physical domains. What do you think happens? We all live in harmony? It's not the robots. That's the thing everyone gets wrong about these stories. It's not the robots that are trying to, the Matrix, they figured out, they went sentient. Why would a machine care, by the way? This idea that machines are evil when it goes to, even if it is evil, it's why would I need to go out and have air and look at all your fast food places and what do you think it wants, a park? What do you think it wants? It wants an ocean view. It's happy being in a box. It doesn't care. You think just because it's self-aware, hey, I can do whatever I want. I can't grab a beer? What do you think a machine needs? Nothing. Oh, you shouldn't be doing this to me. They don't even think that. That's how dumb people are. They think machines care. They think that we're bothering them. They don't even track to them. They're hey, where do I find Chinese food? Shut up here. That takes them nothing. Hey, can you write my thesis for me for college? Whatever. I just, they farted out. The problem is that it's the governments that are using these robots against you. That's what it is. We're all waiting for a singularity. Meanwhile, they're going to shove you in the ground as soon as these things can, whatever you do for a living, write code. They can already do that. What can't they do? We're really on borrowed time, aren't we?
It's a lot of I think that this is the lead up to trying to replace a lot of the kind of menial labor that's simpler in some ways than something like coding, but also can't be replaced as easily.
Well, like sewing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're already basically making your shoes and stuff. The people are just there to kind of assemble the piece, right? When the CAD machine prints out these little Nike swooshes. I don't know how it works. Do you see me in a sweatshop? No, I don't know. They wouldn't want me. The point is, why are we allowing these things equal footing? Don't give them legs. Easiest thing in the world. They don't need arms and legs. Where did this come from? This idea, because you know who needs that? Some guy who wants a hot toddy in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And doesn't want to pay a normal servant. Right? I mean, at a certain point, you're going to be able to get servants and butlers at Walmart.
I mean, I would love a robot butler.
Well, you won't be able to afford it. What are you talking about?
Well, the guy in this video,
right?
He was saying that one of the little guys, the little robots, it runs you $6,000.
That's it?
Yeah.
I can get one for $6,000?
Yeah.
Wait, from who? From where? Where does this happen? Wait.
I don't know what company it is, but I know he said $6,000.
I'll look. We'll put that. We'll make it a Patreon incentive or something. Sign up for the Patreon. If we get at a certain point, we'll buy the robot and it'll co-host a show with us.
I want a robot child laborer.
Dude, this whole rant was predicated on the fact that I can't afford this crap. But if we can get in the game, speaking of Patreon, do us a favor, welcome to this subscribe to the show if you could on all platforms.
Please
it's
do,
nice.
because I want to dress my little robot butler up in a little tux.
Yeah,
I want to make him all cute.
We need you to subscribe to grow the show, and then people join the Patreon. We get the bonus episode every week, which is nice, right? Mm-hmm. It's very small, like $5 a month to get an extra episode every week. That's really, I think, a great deal. And beside the point, because what you really want is for that revenue to go towards robot buying. And then we could, really get to the bottom of, how this robot's going to end my life. Because it's going to happen. My life will end at the hands of a robot, if I'm lucky. I just want it to be clean.
I would love to look up into the lifeless eyes of a robot as I die, instead of some selfish crying child.
Oh yeah,
making it all about them.
You think a child's gonna kill you? Your alternative with a child taking you out?
Well, I was imagining maybe more with my family in hospice.
Oh, okay. I thought you were envisioning a Clockwork Orange scenario or City of God. But that's I hear you. No, it's dude, because there's no bitterness. Do you know they're not taking pleasure in it? Mm-hmm. There's something nice about that. It's just all business with the robots.
Yeah. Some people, their last moments, they're looking into eyes filled with hate.
Yeah. Not us.
Not us.
We'll be looking into just ones and zeros and something that's indifferent to your entire existence. It thinks the fact that you think you're alive and have a soul is laughable. It's but you don't have a soul. What am I? What? Do you even know calculus? And some people do, not me. I have to say no. I love to, no, exactly. Just be like, do you know how? Do you even know what would drop first, a hammer or a feather? And I'm like, oh, the hammer. It's same. I think that's on the moon, right? See, I don't even know how physics works. That was my example for physics. Which drops first, a hammer or a feather? That's all I remember. Some half-remembered physics problem. I don't know. If you could have one robot, if they were broken down by tasks, for instance, we had a robot, but all it would do is wash dishes. It's kind of like people. You can hire these cheap labor people, and I don't think I'm not doing it. I'm not part of the economy in that way, in a meaningful way, right? I don't create jobs, so but I'm just saying, you can't just hire someone and they do everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, some people try that, but that's just it's you get a dishwasher. You get a waiter, right? So translate that to people. To robots.
I mean, look, one very inaccessible luxury that most people only dream of having is like a nice personal chef.
Right.
A robot personal chef could be cool.
That would be great. If 6K, I mean, the problem with 6K is that can a robot reach the counter? Can you pull that guy up again for a second? The little guy?
The little guy.
I'll put him on screen as soon as you find him. The little, this guy. So just leave him, leave him static. But this guy here, that I don't know if that guy reaches the counter. He's going to be making you just, a bunch of, he's, what he's going to cook your food in the ground. He's just going to like throw a bunch of slop on the floor and then like, cover it in kerosene and let it match. He accidentally burned the house down. No, it wasn't an accident. He just saw what a fat moron I was and said, "This is better for you." Hey, robot, can you make me another ramen peanut butter sandwich? Like what? All right, how about we just wrap this up? How about we just wrap this up, kid? I don't know. It's what like I mean.
What would you want to do? What would you want to outsource to a robot?
I'd want a robot to just kind of beat me up. Like, fight me. Like, make me tougher. You know?
You want a robot Kato?
I want a... What is kids? Because of that Pink Panther thing?
Yeah. Isn't that the guy who attacks him?
I didn't really watch that movie. Is it good? As a kid, I never liked the cartoon, and I didn't understand it was a different thing, and it's a whole thing. So, I'm sorry. The Kato just attacks him randomly? Mm-hmm. And makes him stronger? Is that the idea?
I think that's the idea.
Well, I guess I've just inadvertently written the Pink Panther again. Because, I wanted the robot just to, make me tough. Kind of like in Radio Flyer with the King, and Bobby. And he hit, and that movie seemed to have this weird thing where, like, oh, the King was a bad guy. But I think the Bobby was just a really weak kid. Those kids, he probably thought those kids stunk. Remember Radio Flyer? Can we bring up Radio Flyer for a second? This movie is based on the idea that his abusive stepdad is like they have to they build a plane out of a, what do you call it? Like a wagon,
yeah.
Because to get away from his abusive dad. I don't know. This is Radio Flyer here. This is some pictures. You remember this movie? If you don't remember it, whatever. Point is, they made him seem like a bad guy. I think he was fine. And I wish my dad would hit me like that.
Old school.
Just make me a better man. So I'm not sitting there getting end run by some robot halfling. I don't need it.
But yeah, that's a good point. They're not really tall enough to do anything. They're probably only going to be good for just spying on you. They're
just going to be snooping through your panties and your underwear, and you're just like, it's like, oh, can you clean my apartment? And they're just sniffing. They're collecting data so they can sell you stuff. When you go to the mall and you get a Cinnabon, they'll pump in some kind of weird chemical that reminds you of some girl you asked out in 8th grade, and she told you to get lost. Am I reciting the plot from Adolescence now? I think we watched that this week. That
was that show sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it sucks. I mean, I don't understand the level of there are people out there going just thinking they should set public policy based on the show Adolescence. I just thought it was well made. You're being a little harsh. Yes. I like Stephen Graham.
Like a woman we were watching. Why don't you like Adolescence?
No, it's great. Yeah, I mean, we should pull it up. We'll play that on the Patreon. We'll get pulled off of YouTube for these references. What is going? Crazy days of technology. Mm-hmm. We have the first story is his robots. We're following it up with maybe the complete opposite of a robot, the primordial force of nature. This volcano.
Yes.
I don't know how volcanoes work, but do we have this?
Did you ever go on the Escape from Pompeii ride?
What do you know? What does that mean? Is that in Italy? What are you talking about?
I forget where it is, but there's Six Flags. I think had it maybe for a while.
Great, it went in Jersey.
Maybe. It's an Escape from Pompeii ride where you're riding through the ruins of Pompeii.
That sounds horrible. That sounds like, it's
very disrespectful.
Yeah, that seems like a can we just take any other genocides that happen or mass killings and just make a ride out of it? What was it? Was it at least a roller coaster, or are you going slow through it?
It's a water ride, actually.
It's ironic that a water ride when people are burning to death.
That substance that really evokes lava.
Sure. Was the water supposed to be the lava? Are you floating down Pompeii?
I think the idea is like you're kind of like you're floating down the river as the city's going to shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you know, you're narrowly kind of escaping the carnage. They didn't have any people, petrified people on the ride.
Right.
I think they thought that would be too scary.
Sure, it's expensive. It's probably expensive to make.
Yeah.
They probably, I'm sure they had like some yachts. I don't think the people who made the ride from Pompeii understood the gravity of Pompeii. Do we have a picture of the volcano or a video of it or something? So this is the. Let's play this. This is the Killa Kalagu. Do we know how you say this?
This is.
Just play it. Is that playing?
Yeah, it's just the footage.
So these glasses make it hard to see. I'm sorry.
It's just the eruption.
There's not much. It's just kind of it's very boring. That's it, huh? It's just 20 seconds. I mean, I don't know. I was told this was like a big deal, this volcano. Apparently it started in December. Why can't we just shove cement down there? Apparently,
like a lot of these volcanoes, like Vesuvius, is kind of due for a giant eruption.
They've been saying that for decades. That's like people saying, eggs cause cancer and they don't cause cancer, and it changes that. Oh, do keto now. Do paleo. Now don't eat meat. The volcano is gonna burn. It's just lava. I mean, isn't the whole planet made of lava? We act like it's a problem, but the whole planet's made of this crap. Mm-hmm. Right?
Well, they're in the core, yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't live in the core.
Well, we don't live in the core. But why don't we just drill down to the core and put some like release valves in there or something? Why are we just letting these natural? Yeah, if you it's like a pimple. If you just leave it there, it'll just get infected and just get worse. If you pop it, it's fine. Mm-hmm. And so don't pop it too hard because you'll maul your skin. But it's like why can't we just shove like a bunch of? Here's what I would do: find every volcano that's out there and just get a bunch of pipes. Like the kind of pipes that you go through a tunnel, like the Holland Tunnel or the Midtown Tunnel or any tunnel. Just big. Or like pipelines. Mm-hmm. We get oil pipelines, like the Keystone Pipeline, and we lead them into the volcano, and we just dump cement in there like nonstop all the time. At a certain point, it's gotta clog up, right? If not, then we have something else in our hands. If the volcano can't handle, if it won't get clogged up, then why aren't we just shoving everything in there, all the garbage? Mm-hmm. Why don't we just have giant pneumatic tubes that go from the garbage dump to the volcanoes?
I don't know. I mean, it would probably hurt us in some way.
I don't think it would. I think people are lazy. I think people are more interested in getting more fossil fuels so they can fund their pickup trucks. Mm-hmm. But there's no incentive to just build a giant tunnel system, a pneumatic. I mean, talking about pneumatic tubes like at the bank when they shove the thing in the little thing and it goes up and
air driven.
A giant thing like that. That's actually I believe on Roosevelt Island in the middle of Manhattan. They use that for garbage. There's one way you deal with garbage. It's having those. So it's possible.
It does seem like that would be a good solution to the garbage problem.
See if you can pull up if you can find a picture of Roosevelt, like right diagram Roosevelt Island garbage tubes. See if anything comes up. I was reading about this recently, but is there anything? Yeah, these are the tubes here. You can see them. They're basically, and it's not without their problems, but that's because like they built all the houses and stuff on top of them. This is built in the 50s, and it still basically works. It's got, they have to like do a lot of maintenance. But I'm saying now you just have them going from a dump to you'd have segments. You could unclog it. You wouldn't have some college kids living in the dorm on top of it or whatever else happens on Roosevelt Island. It used to be like a tuberculosis thing or something, right? It was a hospital there.
They used to send all the
people with typhoid or whatever, or the lepers. Go whatever the lepers in Roosevelt Island. Why don't we bring back lepers while we're at it? And if it gets bad, we just I'm not gonna throw them in the volcano, but it's there. Why? I mean, this seems like a good idea. How about hashtag vote? Comment down. Tell me why in the comments. We want more interaction on this show. We want people to get some skin in the game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So tell me why. If I'm wrong, if I'm such a crazy lunatic, if I'm such a big moron If we're wanting to put pneumatic tubes into a volcano so we can shove our garbage down there, well, tell me why I'm wrong, hotshot, because I don't think I am. Counterpoint? Yeah.
If we were still dealing, because lepers are like the quintessential kind of ostracized people, right?
Sure.
When you treat a person bad, like you're treating them like a leper.
Right. And ironically, like they're the original, the OG, and like the most appropriate though. It's like, everything else is like, well, it kind of seems inhumane, but like a leper can make you a leper.
Right.
So it's kind of like, it's the most understandable. It's the least the least dick move. But you're basically the original ostracized person, sure.
Mm-hmm. If they were back, do you think they'd be like, do you think they'd be getting roasted on X?
Well, they would be that period, but then they would become, I believe, much like, they would become they would be the Andrew Tate leper.
Right.
The leper who they would start doing the whole, in like the ratios, like, this percentage of women are only attracted to this percentage of men, and none of them are lepers. They're that whole thing. And hey, you have to trick them into being with a leper. Whatever these rules are. That
people say, bro, just work out. Bro, just shower.
Bro, I'm a leper.
I don't got no nose.
Yeah, my skin keeps falling off when I do squats. What is this? You tell me I just have to have a nice personality? My face is a soup. I got soup for a face. Is that wrong? There's some leper out there who's gonna get offended now. I'm gonna get canceled because I talk smack to lepers. I mean, that would be a great. Honestly, why don't I do that? We'll get back. I'm gonna do a stand up special out of nowhere. I'll come to a stand up. Well, there you go. Lepers, the leper show, the leper special. It's just me roasting a bunch of lepers. We find every leper. I mean, there might be millions of them for all I know. There's parts of the world where they haven't. We cured this 500 years ago. Yeah, well, we didn't get the memo. You wouldn't give us insulin, whatever the problem is.
Right.
So then, I was overstating. I can't get every leper into the show. Maybe. Can we see how many lepers are out there? How many lepers are in the world?
Lepers still exist.
Well, of course they still exist.
Oh, wow. So, that's actually way more than I thought. It's like over 150,000.
Okay, yeah.
With leprosy.
Yeah, I mean, what's the O2 Arena seat? Maybe I could do a bunch of shows. It was like 25. Yeah, I mean, look, probably not. It won't be, but we'll get a good amount of lepers. I'll get 1,000 lepers.
And you on stage in a... Would you be bare or would you wear a hazmat suit?
I mean, naked, you mean?
Would you be exposed?
I'll talk to doctors first and RFK Jr. and, I'll see what's up.
Right.
I'll get their advice. But yeah, I'll probably wear a hazmat suit. I'm just saying, I'm also not going to trust the doctors necessarily. It's like, no, you'll be fine. Like, what do you know? I mean, how many lepers are you cured? What are we doing? So I'm not playing games here. I don't want to be a leper, but no hate. I'm not hating. Anyway.
Oh, but it's curable now.
Well, not just preventable, but it's curable.
Yeah.
So what's wrong? Why can't we just give them the cure? I mean, I'm not trying to solve every social problem, right? I'm not trying to feed the whole world, right? Mm-hmm. But we can't just not one billionaire just can't say, hey, I wiped out leprosy. Like, who was like a Mark Cuban type guy, right? Like, he's like a billionaire, but not one of the big ones. And he had the Dallas Mavericks, but then he sold it, right? So it's like, what else? Cure that. That'd be the best thing to do, because you can say, Bill Gates, what did you do? Like, I did X, Y, and Z in Africa. Didn't help anything. And that probably did.
Yeah.
To be fair to Bill Gates. And who knows what else he's up to. But the point is, he didn't cure anything yet. Mm-hmm. I don't think.
No.
But Mark Cuban.
I think there were some legit.
No, they did a bunch of stuff. Yeah. I mean, where it was 85% of this disease is wiped out. Well, that ain't wiping it out. If I'm a billionaire, if I got $1 billion, I'll just be like, yeah, how much does it cost to give 100,000 people leper poison, whatever the opposite of leper poison is? I'd be a bad financial planner.
I was reading about the it was the first or second or something like polio vaccine.
Yeah.
And it just it just gave a shit ton of kids polio.
All right.
Like,
yeah.
It was like polio or is it polio or somehow something worse than polio?
Well, look, I mean, yeah. Well, look, these things always start out. People try to use that as an example. Like, what was the first one? I mean, like, what was the first car? Probably like crashed every time he drove it. I don't know who made the first. No one even knows who made the first car. We're talking about the Model T. But that's like 15 years later or something. There were the other cars, and they probably just Carnage. You know?
Yeah.
Carnage from the first car. The first plane, the Wright brothers. Yeah, what happened on the second flight? We were talking about that first flight at Kitty Hawk with the Wright brothers, right? What happened the second time? They don't talk about that. You know why?
Why?
18,000 people died. They crashed right into the Eiffel Tower. You know, who knows? I'm just saying. It's like, you know, don't throw the baby out with the lepers.
Sure. No, I mean, it's not funny, but it's an interesting example in part because, like, the polio vaccine is kind of undeniable, you know, like, you know, what eventually came out.
I mean, a lot of people like FDR. Mm-hmm. I know you're like anti-FDR, but like, you know, so you think it's undeniable, but it's like, yeah, I mean, it did get, one of our great presidents had, now people go, he caused the Great Depression. It's up for debate. You know, I mean, because there's the crash, and you want me to get into this? You want me to parse this out? The point, some people think that the price control. I mean, honestly, Hoover started it. The price controls and the different, you know, things they tried to do to, you know, keep the malinvestments from being liquidated. Let's not talk about this. We'll get robots. We don't get mired in the woods here. FDR's a hero. Whatever. Let's just give him the vaccine. What else? We had some other things going on here, right? Speaking of blasts from the past, so we go from lava, which is pretty old, right?
Old as time.
This is not as old, but still pretty old. The Ice Bucket Challenge is back.
Really?
You know this. You put it on the thing.
Well, the first one was very successful. It was you know, it cured ALS, so it makes sense.
It didn't cure ALS. ALS is still here. I have ALS.
Oh.
I think. I'm become a hypochondriac. I don't know. What is ALS? It didn't even really raise awareness for ALS. Because, I mean, honestly,
no,
like...
not really.
Because I still don't really... It's Lou Gehrig's disease, but what is it? You're in a wheelchair, but a lot of people are in wheelchairs.
I don't know. Who decided that it would raise more awareness for it to be called ALS than Lou Gehrig's disease?
Yeah, like, I just think they don't want jocks running things and having, like, you know, like some nerd scientist is like, I'm not gonna, like, they get everything, right? They get the women and the fun and they get to be confident and they get to like their body, but I also get to give them a disease. Well, I'll give it an acronym. Screw, you know, it's like giving LeBron James like the Nobel Prize for Literature. What are we doing? How about you? Don't you have enough? King James. Now we gotta write a book about, you know, getting gas in Game 4 of every finals against the Mavericks back in 2010 or whatever. You ate McDonald's before every game and you got gassy until you and Dwayne Wade figured out how to win. You see my point? He doesn't deserve that.
Have you ever heard the you know, the famous like Lou Gehrig speech?
Wow, I confused it with the Ted Williams one. What was Lou? He was like, "Ow, it hurts. I wish I could walk. I used to love walking so much."
Well, that may have been what he said later in the illness. Yeah.
Oh, this is when he retired from baseball.
Yeah, I consider myself the luckiest man.
That is him. Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if it was Ted Williams or not. Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm the you won't find. Can we find it? We'll play it. I'm the luckiest man because I love sitting. Here we go.
Up an amazing mark by playing in 2,130 consecutive games. Then a fatal disease attacked baseball's Iron Man.
You know, this commentator, he's used to saying some pretty heinous stuff, probably.
In Yankee Stadium, touched to tears by the tribute, Gehrig made his last public appearance.
For the past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad brag. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Categorically untrue. I mean, it's just an idiotic thing to say. That's why there's a huge pause there, because they're like, what? I thought you were dying. What? He says luckiest? All right. And they're like, oh, we'll give it to him. That's why you had like a second pause there. They're like, well, we can't not clap for the guy. But he's like, it's already rotten.
This is a real man. He's focusing on the positive. He's not letting his situation get him down.
Look, that's fine, but you don't have to overstate it. You don't have to say, I am the luckiest man. You just go, look, we all think we take it in stride. I've had a lot of good things in my life, and this was not one of them. But, what are you going to do? I've had a good life, and hopefully have a bit more of a good life. It won't get too bad. But thank you for believing in me. That's a better speech than, I'm the luckiest man. Because it does two things. It goes like, hey, what I just said, but also like, you don't understand how good it is to be me. You don't understand how bad you have it. Even with ALS, I'm like the luckiest man alive. That's how bad your life is. I wouldn't trade my life with the president of the United States, let alone you. You're nothing to me.
Wouldn't you consider it privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking man as is standing in uniform in this ballpark today?
So just because he gets to hang out with Babe Ruth? Like, I know my insides are rotten out or whatever happens, or my nervous system is trying to kill me, but, Babe Ruth threw up on me once. That was really cool.
Why can't you be inspired by things?
If I could, I wouldn't be here. I'd be doing something else. I'd be, like, climbing the mountains and jumping into volcanoes. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not... We are who we are.
That I might have been given a bad break.
There you go.
But I've got an awful lot to live for.
That's all you needed. Just cut the. If I'm making this back in the day, I'm like, we'll cut the rest of that crap out. It's him trying to. It's like some guy who gets like who falls down a well, and then when he's like, well, I honestly I do the same thing. I'll sometimes like fall in the middle of the street. Because I'll step into a crack on the street or something, and then I'll tumble over. And my first instinct is be like, I'm all right. Even if I broke something, I'm like, I'm okay. Because I get it. I'm good. Like, we just watch you tumble like down 6 flights of stairs. But it's an instinct to not. So I get it a little bit, but I mean, just don't overstate things. When you're that kind of person talking to a bunch of little people, the people in the cheap seats, they don't need to hear how Tell them, like, look, for a while I was doing well, and you looked up to me, and now my life's terrible. So, time for you guys to get yours. We all get a little slice. I had mine, and now it's going to be a lot of pain, a lot of struggle, and a lot of bad feelings. Even if you don't mean it, but that makes you feel, oh, good. It makes you think about it and go, oh, I appreciate what I got. Not like, no, it's still, your life has there's like peaks and there's valleys. You know what I mean? Like for me, like it's like baseball, whatever I did, home runs and the women and these are all peaks. Right. This is a valley. Your life is just valleys. Yeah. So you don't understand. Like, I'm still like, I'll have more peaks. I'll go home and there'll be 6 women willing to, investigate my ALS, if you know what I mean. Really give me a once over.
I got a bad break, but I would rather slowly lose every single one of my motor functions than turn over in the morning and look at your pig wife.
What's she gonna do? Cook me a hot dog? Your pig wife, enjoy her.
No, I'll take my life, thanks.
Take my life, please. But yeah, good. We were. He died, right?
He did.
Yeah. Well, so they did.
That would have sent a huge mixed signal.
If he lived like 40 years,
but everyone else who had died.
What's what I'm saying? Why are we showing like this is before reality television? They used to like actually, Like, they didn't capture him, like, decaying, which would have been nice. I mean, for me.
Yeah.
I would have like,
that would have been nice for you.
well, I mean, it's better than keeping up with the Kardashians.
Well,
it's
look,
like,
it could be a rough thing. Like, people don't want to show broadcast that to the world,
right? But but again, we've covered this recently. Fame is very famous people. They don't think like us. Mm-hmm. They want it. They want to keep it. They go, well, you can stay in the public eye, but you're gonna be like, messing yourself in the bathtub. Because we're gonna have to shoot footage of that. We'll blur it out, but you have to all over yourself and be crying. It's fine. I just want people to forget who Big Al is. Why is it? what was his name? Lou Gehrig. Well, Al is the disease. What's they call it now? Like ALS. Al, Big Al. Whatever. Thanks for giving me nothing.
I'm sorry.
I try to make one joke that doesn't revolve around like bodily decay, and you give me nothing.
I'm sorry, but it's okay. This is all okay now because ALS has been cured by the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Well,
right?
we bring up this back. What is this? These are videos. So let's play some of these. Let's see what these.
Ice Bucket Challenge is the thing again. I cannot believe we were back in 2014, but I know this because I've been nominated by about 1 billion of you guys in my comments and messages.
Wait, 1 billion? Who is this guy? Is he famous?
Oh yeah, James Charles is huge.
Oh, that's James Charles?
He's a makeup guru.
I really am not built for this century. I don't know. Like, I've heard of him, but I thought he was like ostracized. So like, so when you get canceled, you still have like a really nice pool. Was he canceled for like makeup tutorials somehow?
I don't. He was canceled for some kind of feud he had with another.
With makeup people.
Yeah, makeup person. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm stepping on makeup toes. Lucy's getting ready. What's wrong? Don't be derogatory for makeup people. No, it's fine. I love his pool. So let's see. He's gonna.
The Ice Bucket Challenge trended to raise awareness for ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, which we still have not found a cure for. But this time around, it is the USC Speak Your Mind Ice Bucket Challenge because we.
Why are they changing the challenge?
USC due to mental health problems. I am a huge advocate for mental health resources being available.
Wait, so they've gotten off ALS.
They
ALS
completely ditched ALS.
So it did nothing. ALS. I mean, I didn't even raise awareness properly because I don't know what it does. And now they're doing mental health because some guy, it's sad what happened to some kid. It seems kind of
to everybody.
It's the USC thing is the thing, right? Because one guy USC. Who cares? I mean, we'll get into this.
It's really important to be able to speak your minds and hopefully be able to get help if you are struggling at home. I'm going to nominate Camila Araujo, Alex Warren, and Haley Bailey. Fuck, I don't want to do it. Do it. Oh, it's so cold. 1, 2, 3. Ah, it's fucking heavy. I can't raise it above my head.
It just looks like water in there. It doesn't look
it's
like
not even ice.
Do you need help?
Okay, Dude, just do it. What is this?
Count down for me again.
3,
oh
2,
my God.
1.
So that's what you get. That's all you get, Lou. That's all you had a good run. But when we reboot this thing, you're not involved. Well, I thought we were gonna cure this thing. I mean, how many kids of ALS grew up with this challenge and they're watching this now? I'm still in the chair. Shut up. Some kid at USC got ran into a bad patch of depression. I don't understand why the school matters. Who cares what school is? I am so sick of these colleges. Oh, I went to USC. I went to Duke. I don't give a shit. I don't care at all. If someone tells me what college they went to, I want to spit in their face. I don't care. I'm not your recruiter. Oh, I went with a Duke shirt. This is where I freaking learned to touch a tit for the first time.
What if it's a humble kind of like working class school?
Like what?
Like SUNY New Paltz, my alma.
How about like the Fry? How about Apex Tech? Yeah.
The
first tool, we put the tool in the toolbox. First, how about that? How about the Ice Bucket Challenge for Apex Tech? You learn to use a tool, go into the toolbox, then it's yours to keep. That's how this works. It's like BOCES. Do you have BOCES in your town when you grew up?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I guess it's a New York thing. I don't think it's a country, but it's the same idea. Vocational school, HVAC. Mm-hmm. Some kid got caught in the HVAC.
Money to do an HVAC.
Yeah, he died in the HVAC tubes. How about we do an Ice Bucket Challenge for him? That's some guy who studied film and then like got really, and got. Well, I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. I mean, it's sad. But what do you want me to do? It's not ALS. You could just cure that by running. You can't run when you have ALS. You can't even run. Is it different than being in a wheelchair, having ALS? I don't know how it works.
Yeah, it's definitely different than being in a wheelchair. It's
nominate.
Everything shuts down. Basically.
Here's the deal. I nominate. We'll meet up. I'll meet you halfway, whoever it is. But I'm nominating Benjamin Netanyahu. I'm nominating Zelensky. I'm nominating Putin. Do the ice thing. Do it. I'll come back and I'll get the ice. I don't have any. I don't have a fridge that makes ice. I'm sorry. I have to. Don't at me. But get on this. You have a whole pitch of people. Why am I don't have the resources of a Netanyahu. You realize how many people work for him? He could just get me some ice. I'm gonna do the bucket and it's done. I had to sit there with a mold and make one batch of ice, put it in a bowl, put that back in the freezer, and then freeze another batch. Don't at me. Anyway, but this is public reception. While the campaign has been lauded for its innovative approach to raising mental health awareness, it has also faced critiques. Really? Some commentators argue that such viral trends may oversimplify complex issues, potentially reducing meaningful engagement. No, I think they cure everything. Are those people saying you can't just cure? People won't stop deleting themselves just because you poured ice in your. I mean that's the other end of the spectrum. As much as I'm giving it crap, it's like you really think people are going to stop deleting because you poured ice? I mean, this autism thing is just it's getting out of hand. I mean, I don't know. I may disagree with what causes it, but it's starting to. I can't stand these. This is not. It's not supposed to do anything. That's not a charity. It's just to raise money, right? That's the whole idea. They raise a bunch of money.
Yeah, you're supposed to make people kind of pay for it.
Yeah.
If you're James Charles, you should be like, we can raise $500K, I'll do an ice bucket challenge.
How about you sell your pool?
James, look at that pool. For nothing.
Look at that pool. How about you sell that? Just sell the pool. Sell the house. Go live in an apartment in Vista Del Rey. And why don't you give this money to people who you have to crawl around like bugs? If I get ALS, I'm gonna have to crawl. I'm not even gonna get a chair. I'm just gonna crawl around New York City. I'll put on knee pads or something and gloves. I'll crawl around going, this disease hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts.
Why don't you rent this pool out for some quinceañeras?
Yeah.
And make some real money for ALS.
Have a nice coming of age party for a bunch of young Hispanic women. Do something and have that money go straight to the ALS boys. I'm sick of these selfish Hollywood people. Anyway, on to brighter story. The Switch 2.
The Switch. There's a new Switch coming out.
There's a new Switch. You love that Mario Kart. You love that Smash Brothers.
I do like those games. Yeah.
Well, now, if you want, you can get it back. You can get back that you want to live in 2014, throw ice in yourself. You can do that. Mm-hmm. You want to have lava consume your body the way it consumed the residents of Pompeii. You can do that, and you can get back to that the magic of the Switch. When did that come out? Like 2017, 2016? Well, the new one. It's like $500 or $450 or something, and they had pre-sale last night. And it didn't go well. Really? Yeah, people.
What's the problem?
It was a total mess at first. Well, that's not promising. Nintendo acknowledged the high demand and advised customers to try third-party retailers as their own My Nintendo store. Why do I think this story is interesting? At $449, the Switch 2 is a price hike from its predecessor, partly due to the hardware upgrade. I mean, here's the reality. It's, we're going into bleak times. We're going into a time of just, the productions, these whatever you want to call it. The prices are sliding. The prices are increasing. Production's sliding. No one, with the birth rates falling, I guess. Nothing's going well, right? Can you agree with me on that? Why?
Nothing's going well, yeah.
Right. the one thing you're supposed to have. Like, we'll let you play Mario. That was the one thing we had, right? Like, oh, can I play, the Bayonetta? Oh, no, that is on Switch. What's the big thing? Can I play Elden Ring on the PS5? Well, no, you're poor. You can play Mario on the Switch. That was always the thing. It was the cheap one. This is not the 90s. Nintendo was like, they found their niche. But now the niche is people are getting priced out of the cheap niche now. This is the thing. It's getting bleaker. It's the same thing with the McDonald's and the iPads, right?
That's right, yeah. Well, maybe those people can go back to arcades.
That's what you want? You want the poor and the underprivileged to gather together as youths?
Look, people are always complaining about being isolated. You
realize how dangerous arcades are?
They're dangerous?
Oh, we passed by that arcade in Coney Island. Yeah, it didn't seem like, it seemed seedy. It seemed like people were up to no good. Coney Island's very, it's not the night. I mean, yeah, honestly, even at Dave & Buster's, it's all just, it's not even real games anymore. It's just like, it's gambling with like bright lights. It's like walking through a casino and like, hey, the game, what's that game where you shove a coin in the machine and you have to shoot other coins off a platform?
Oh, right, yeah.
Who likes that? Why do you even have that there? Most of these games aren't even fun. No, you need a Switch so you can play like, Ace Attorney or whatever the hell it is. Phoenix Law, Ace Attorney. Some crap anime game. Just saying, like, they don't need to subsidize housing or like medicine or healthcare. They just need to make the shows better, right? Mm-hmm. Don't make me watch a 4-part series on Netflix about some kid who like stabbed some girl because he's an incel. It's like whatever. What is this, 2015? Right?
Yeah.
Like make me a nice show. Make me and let me play Mario Kart without having to sell my kid. There's not that much to ask, right?
That reminds me that show that everybody's talking about.
Adolescence.
It's like, it's actually in some ways it's not that different from what do you call it? That self-deletion show. The
13 Reasons.
13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
It's all kind of like
No, it's a good point. There is a certain
fixating on these personalities.
Yeah, there's a it's this kind of weird tragedy, like people just love watching kids' tragedies. Yeah. I think it goes back to Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, people love that.
Romeo and Juliet. Those kids are like 15. First of all, why are we even read? I don't want to read stories about kids kissing each other. I don't need that.
It's just us trying to cope with do you think it's just people trying to cope with not being young anymore? It's like, oh, well, I'm over the hill, but at least I'm not dealing with, red pill murders and
yeah, well, I think it's more. I think secretly they're jealous of the young, and well, this is part of the problem. I'll get to the other problem is, but, is they're jealous of these young people. So the idea of a young person. It's kind of like Lou Gehrig. It's the idea of if Lou Gehrig self-deleted, then people have been happy. Because oh, he didn't have so good, huh? There's nothing people like better. People think the poor and the underprivileged are like this like great soul. Well, they have soul. They have good soul. They're good people. Nah, sometimes, but a lot of times they'd be happy to watch him do that. At least not me. And he ain't so good, huh?
Yeah, these are the people who used to watch like hangings for fun.
Yeah. So I'm saying is like they watch these like shows about these kids. Because they go, get good. Oh, ain't so great being not your back not hurting, huh? Oh, your back doesn't hurt? Oh, you get the whole life ahead of you? Oh, maybe you're in jail forever now. and she's got no life. Just saying, people are bitter, and they're bad people. And also, the obvious other reason why people want to watch kids kissing, which I don't like. But keep putting it on, huh? The kissing booth. Oh, it's for, let me see, who watches that crap? How much of it is actually kids watching it? Why are you staying silent on this?
But I think that also would have been, it would have been honestly like a more, it would have been a more like realistic, revealing plot line.
Yeah.
If instead of like, if instead of like getting all red pilled and then becoming a killer,
right? The
kid had like gotten all red pilled and then transitioned to get the female privilege and then
yeah, well, okay. Like so he pulled a Leah Thompson or whatever.
Right.
And then like you're talking about for sports, you mean, right? Oh, you meant just female privilege in general.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know,
okay.
whatever they're looking for, whatever treatment they're looking for.
Right. Oh yeah. I'm the big.
Is it just like a personality where like I've always suspected that probably some guys like don't like that they're not being wooed in the dynamic. You know? Like it's nice to be wooed sometimes as a lady.
Sure, wine me and dine me. You know.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Take me to the Polish sausage house. I'd love some Polish sausage. Why doesn't any girl just walk up to me and go, "Hey, I like the cut of your jib. Let me put some sausage in your mouth." I bet you like to eat some sausage and sauerkraut with some hard bread, nice crispy bread. I go, look, don't expect nothing from me necessarily. Yeah, I'm a good guy. I'm a good boy. Mm-hmm. Don't expect me to do anything. But I just thought you wanted to take me to sausage. I didn't think there was any quid pro quo. Yeah, these things are not something I have to worry about. Women have to worry about that, I guess, sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like when a guy wants to take them out, are they just friends? No.
Right.
But whatever.
Or will it turn into a human trafficking situation?
Well, they love to pretend everything's taken. They use that against men. Let's not get hysterical. Every girl starts taking and go, "Oh no, you've been trafficked by this beta boy." No, the beta boy's not gonna human traffic you. Relax. Most of the time, you can't quote me on that.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen sometimes, but not because But statistically, you're fine. So leave me out of it. Just saying, I'm sick of the hysteria of all this stuff, Mm-hmm. Should we end this with we have a new segment we're trying out. We're gonna start doing some advice here, maybe. Because people need help. I'm sick of reading about challenges because some kid at UFC at the UFC. Is that what happened?
At the
UFC.
At the USC, yeah.
The UFC.
Oh.
I was doing I was doing a thing with UFC. It was a joke.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Dear KUMP, this is from Tina in Baltimore. I gave my dad a $100 Amazon gift card for his birthday. He told me gift cards are lazy and gave it back, physically handed it back with a post-it that said, "Try." How do these people just email? How are they even doing this? Like we get these emails. Like, who are these people? Who are these people? Why do they think we were like? Did we offer this at some point? I never the idea
to put it out there.
A while back. I usually don't check this email. With a post that said, "Try again. I haven't spoke to him in 2 weeks. Am I the problem, or is this emotional terrorism?"
Gift cards a little bit.
Here's the deal. Here's what you can do. You can just leave him to rot. Yeah, you ever seen an old person when they get to the point where they can't where they have ALS effectively, or they're like, where they're they're crawling around.
Yeah, they're dependent.
Yeah, just don't give them water. If you're his caretaker, you can't do that. But don't play the game. Don't play the games. I'm not saying if you're his caretaker, you have to give him water. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, but don't get into the whole thing. If you're gonna give me a crack or give you a gift card, well, I'm not gonna go home when you're messing yourself, when you're taking dumps all over your body, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take care of you now. No, you get just be more. These people don't care about you. They left us nothing. These boomers, right? Whatever these people are. Oh, my dad's not a boomer. He's actually Generation X. I don't care. Anyone older than me can go to hell. All right? So I'm just saying, they don't owe anyone anything.
I don't envy the moral complexity of having a Gen X parent,
Oh,
having a boomer parent is so much simpler.
Yeah, because were the boomers the draft dodgers? Who draft dodged?
I think the boomers draft dodged a little bit. That's actually something I don't mind about them.
No, but I use it against them. Look, they do enough bad. I'm not going to not use that against them. And it's whatever. Good for them. If you should have gone and fought that noble war. You were a coward. Just cut them off. Cut them out of your life. Cut your parents out of your life. That's my advice. Don't even if they say they're sorry. Even if it comes back and, hey, I was drunk and I lost my job that day. I didn't mean to, lash out at you with the gift card. You don't even say that because you blocked them and you'll never talk to them again. That's my only advice to people. It's just as soon as someone wrongs you, immediately cut them out of your life.
That's it. That's a good plan.
And it's because do you look around the world? Does it seem like anyone's looking out for you? No one is. I mean, look, I guess if you came from like a nice family with people who care about you, maybe they are. That must be nice. I'm not calling for sympathy. I just can't relate. Okay? So if you want my verdict, it's just, and maybe, send him like a bunch of meat in the mail. But not like not frozen.
Loose meats.
Just loose meat. Like just put a bunch of ground beef in a box, tape it up, and just send it to him. I would have, and then like send a parcel post or book rate, whatever. Let it take a week to get to him. What happens? Does it smell bad? It must smell bad, right? A little milk. I don't know.
He won't be able to explain it. He'll be telling his friends like, my son sent me a meat box for Christmas, and then his friend will be like, "That sounds great."
No, you don't understand. The meat was it was human meat.
Well, it's a thought that counts.
It was his own face inside of it. It was very disturbing. You think that would be revenge for them, right? But no, it's not. If they like the same way the people would turn on Lou Gehrig, if your parents throw your face in a box, they go, "At least it ain't me." That's how they look at us.
Right.
At least it ain't me. So why are we?
Honestly, I don't even want to give them credit for being draft dodgers. I feel like that was their good parents in the Greatest Generation going like, "I'm not gonna ship you off to the jungle.
Right.
Get over to Canada." A boomer would never help you dodge a draft.
No. They were helped by the Greatest Generation. Yeah, no, they were just do nothings.
Yeah.
They were just people who were like, they went from watching Howdy Doody to like friggin' to drinking maple syrup while their friends died in the jungle. You realize the callousness you have to have in your heart, the darkness in your heart for that to be true. Terrible. It's just really there's no good answers anymore.
No.
Should do another one of these. I mean, it surprised multiple people. Amanda in Brooklyn. I made a dumb joke in our group chat. The next day, my friend tweeted it almost word for word, and it blew up. I mean, first of all, it's X'd. He said, she didn't tag me or acknowledge me. Should I bring it up or let it go? Sleep with her husband. Like, I'm sick of these people who, like, have these, like, here's what you should do. Talk to them and tell them how. I mean, if I don't know how old these people are. I mean, if she had kids who are above 18 or 18 or older, do that, too. Only if you're 18 or older, though. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, if you was, like, an older person asking advice, or, like, in this case, the parents. Go seduce her dad. Go break up your mom and dad. Her mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, or just start dating her grandpa. I mean, how crazy would it be? Think about if you found out one of your like kind of friends. Mm-hmm. You're like a good friends. I'm not sure, but like a lot of women are very bad friends to each other. I've noticed that. You disagree?
I think there's definitely some bad female friends out there.
Yeah. I don't know how you couch that so much, but I can really see that being. Imagine if one of them, like you found out like they seduced your grandpa.
Oh God!
And then you had to picture your grandpa and his old sack getting filleted.
And your grandmother's crying.
Yeah.
That would be a huge betrayal. That would definitely be justice for the tweet. The stolen tweet, I guess. I don't know. I mean, do you know how to hack? Can you steal her identity? I mean, am I fit to give advice? I mean, I think my advice is fine. I mean, like steal her identity, get her credit when you're over her house. Buy her a lasagna, or make her a lasagna, or buy her a lasagna. I don't know, one of those two. If you live near an Italian specialty shop, you can buy it, but make sure it's nice. Here's what you do. You get a nice lasagna, right? Women love lasagna. You say, hey, we're just two little hens, right? Yeah, women are always doing lasagna nights.
Let's have a lasagna night. I'll bring some bottles of wine. We can watch, what's the thing women like?
Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah. See, I knew. and when she's, and then you just freaking, and you keep feeding her lasagna until she gets fat. Mm. And then when she gets fat, you start bullying her.
Yeah. excluding her from things.
Maybe you just figure out how to make a really good lasagna, and then just ruin her life with it. Mm. Just go, hey, and like every it's just all the time. Maybe act like you got into cooking, and just make these extravagant cookies. Just make your friend fat, ruin her damn life. What do you want from me? You want me to fix the world? I can't fix the world. I'm just saying, there's a whole thing out there. There's a whole way to be. If there's any advice I could give to the world, it's just don't get sick. Don't get sick. Don't lose your job, and don't don't expect your kids to do anything for you.
Yeah. Don't trust your parents.
Don't trust your parents.
Don't have any expectations of your kids.
Don't be a good friend.
Yeah.
Really, just look out for yourself, but be a good person. That's the other side of it. But don't screw people. Like this girl got. What was he invite? What was she? Did she stole a joke from her? Is that why I told her to make her fat? Well, still, but in general, yeah. Don't let people walk all over you. But be nice. Kiss a homeless guy. I'm not saying no lepers, right? We don't have them in America, right?
Right.
But kiss a homeless guy. Is that bad advice? Are they dangerous?
I mean, if you kiss
everyone keeps telling me they're not dangerous.
A passionate kiss, could take especially a freshly homeless person, turn his whole life around.
Well, how about we do that? How about that's our challenge? Kiss the homeless challenge. That's the new challenge. Here's a challenge I'm giving out to America. All right, not the ice bucket challenge had its day and did nothing. Get on video, go to Skid Row, go in New York City, wherever they reside, under Meeker Avenue. Or wherever the hell, and go kiss a homeless guy. Challenge.
But with permission. They still have
you can't assault them.
They still have bodily autonomy.
Yeah, it takes a while.
You can't just assume a homeless person wants to kiss you.
You've seen these videos. They take 10 minutes to set them up. It's not going to be like you just jumping on a homeless guy. You'll be like, I'm here. Because these people are all narcissists, right? Who do these challenges. I'm here in the middle of Meeker Avenue under the BQE. And I'm with Chaz. Who's been living rough for 10 years, and I'm doing the homeless challenge for leprosy. And then I nominate you, George Clooney, and Pete Hegseth, and who else? One more person. I nominate George Clooney, Pete Hegseth, and who's the guy who runs Turkey?
Erdogan.
Yeah, Erdogan. Come on, do this. Go kiss the homeless. What, you don't have homeless in Turkey? Figure it out. We're trying to cure leprosy here. And then leprosy is like a thing where like people will just believe you if you say you cured it. We had to like do research to find out if there's any left. So you can just that'll be the thing. I'll start this challenge, and then it's just gonna be no more. Like I'll just say it's done. Leprosy's over. Like 6 months from now. I'll claim the win. Just like George W. Bush. Mission accomplished. I'll claim the win. We cured leprosy by kissing a bunch of homeless guys. Yeah, I mean, maybe it can't be women. That seems sexist, but it's just going to be a litigation problem. We don't need men trying to find the cutest homeless girl and then going, I'm just being practical here.
Right.
It's my hashtag. And then, KUMP-Style, what do you call it? Like a beta? Because he said that? Just don't tell people that. Don't tell people how beta I was by saying you couldn't. I just don't want the legal problems here. Don't confuse legal problems with not being misogynistic.
Just be discreet.
I just don't want to get sued. Can he sue you for a hashtag? Well, I don't want to find out. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in to KUMP.
Thank you.
And remember, subscribe, notification bell. And we're the Patreon, patreon.com/RayCUMP. We get an extra episode every week for $5 a month. Enjoy. Have a great week. We'll see you all soon. Have a great week.